Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, it is a very frigid night across central Illinois. There's our roofing dog on that Bratcher weather camera overlooking Champaign, where we've had a lot of cloud cover. We've had continuing snow showers kind of on and off throughout today, despite the big snow that came through last night. And now, the temperature, we're down to the single digits. In Springfield, it is 6. But when you factor in the wind, it feels like 9 below zero, 7 below in Champaign. That's only going to get worse. There's a wind chill advisory in effect for about half of our counties here. With that number, 15 to 20 below zero is what it's going to feel like as we get going tomorrow morning. Everything freezing over. Hard, crunchy snow that was once a wet snow last night, no longer the case. Single digits here for everybody before too long. We'll talk more about this deep freeze when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now, from WCIA 3 News.
You know why Silver took off like a little rat.
And police say he stayed in the shadows for 9 years. How investigators say they got Michael Henslick to admit he murdered Holly Cassano. He was arrested on charges of forgery and official misconduct. Today, he ran a board meeting. Was it business as usual?
It's no secret. Me and Senda, we made a great team.
And now he's trying to continue her legacy as he takes over as Sangamon County coroner.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
They say if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute. Now it's about to change again. Good evening. I'm Jessica Coons in for Paul.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. It's set for some frigid temperatures. A winter weather advisory is in effect across the area, and temperatures are expected to drop below zero with an increased risk of frostbite overnight. Our chief meteorologist, Kevin Leidy, is in the tracking center. Kevin, this is the first time this season it's going to be this cold.
Yeah, it's the first time for the whole season we're going to go below zero with the actual temperature, and that's going to happen. So let's talk about this. Okay, first off, we've got the winds that are out there still at 18 miles per hour. While, yes, we have to talk about the cold with this, I want to show you what those winds are doing on some of the roads across the area. This is a picture sent in to us here. That is Highway 47 between Gibson City and Fisher, just past the county line there. You can see, look at the snow that is blowing back on the roads there. So that's obviously one issue. Then the winds creating this one. Well, cold. It's going to feel like 18 below zero tomorrow morning as you have to go to work and school. That's rough at the bus stop for the kids for sure, and even us adults that even just barely have to walk to the car, right? All right, so when do we get a break from this? There is a warm-up in store. We'll talk about it coming up here in a little bit.
All right, good tease. Thank you.
We have some new details from a Champaign County courtroom. Today, jurors in Holly Cassano's murder trial saw videos of the suspect confessing to the crime.
Did you kill her or not? You did. How? Where?
Michael Henslick is accused of killing Cassano in her Muhammad home in 2009. If he's found guilty, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. WCIA 3's Aaron Eads is live in our newsroom now. And Aaron, those videos the jurors saw today, that stuff's hard to hear.
It was, Jennifer. They heard Henslick telling the investigators he had sex with Cassano's dead body. That part the investigators believed. Here's what they didn't believe. Henslick told them he and Cassano also had consensual sex before he killed her. Despite their pressure, he stuck to that story, even after admitting he went to the kitchen, picked out a steak knife, then went to Cassano's bedroom and stabbed her dozens of times. Today, a state police forensic scientist also testified. She tested evidence from the case, and she told the jury Henslick's DNA was found on samples of blood and semen taken from Cassano's body and items in her home.
Able to obtain a DNA profile at 23 locations for laboratory exhibit 9E, and Michael Henslick cannot be excluded or is included as a contributor to this human male DNA profile. This profile is estimated that approximately 1 in 150 octillion unrelated individuals selected at random would be included as a contributor.
Here's what those numbers mean. Out of a hypothetical pool of 150 octillion people, that's 150 with 27 zeros after it, only one of them would have Michael Henslick's DNA. There are fewer than 8 billion people on Earth right now. That's a considerably smaller number than that. Now, that didn't stop Henslick's defense team from trying to challenge it. They questioned why the scientist didn't check the evidence for Henslick's brother's DNA, saying it could have changed that probability ratio, but the scientist said it wouldn't be much different. Closing arguments happen tomorrow morning. Live in the newsroom, Aaron Eads, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. We have an update now from Piatt County. The board chair ran his first meeting since his indictment last month. Even some are calling for his resignation. A grand jury indicted Ray Spencer on charges of forgery and official misconduct 1 month ago. Since then, Spencer has remained board chair and has continued running county business. It's legal, but the board could also vote to remove him. So far, they haven't tried. Assistant State's Attorney Elizabeth Dobson told board members they can't say they don't have the right to remove him.
It is incorrect to legally say, for anyone to say, that you cannot conduct a process and remove a chair. You are, the responsible answer may be that you choose not to, but it's not that you cannot legally do it.
Board member Randy Schumart also spoke, saying he believes the board can't afford any more problems. He says the board is suffering from a lack of leadership that needs to be dealt with quickly. Today was officially the first day on the job for the new Sangamon County coroner.
Jim Allman was sworn in at Tuesday night's county board meeting. He served as chief deputy coroner under Cinda Edwards. Cinda, her husband Frank, and their friend John Evans were killed in a plane crash 2 weeks ago. WCIA 3's Cole Hanke spoke with Allman during his first day. Cole, this has been an incredibly difficult time for everyone in that coroner's office.
Yeah, and they're still trying to come to terms with what happened, but now they have a new leader, and he's ready to take over for Edwards after serving at her side for almost a decade. It's been 2 weeks since Cinda Edwards died in a plane crash, but her former staff still can't bear to go into her office. It's exactly how she left it. They won't even open up the door.
It's been difficult, to say the least. Our job is tough enough.
Sangamon County has a new coroner now. Jim Allman, Edwards' longtime chief deputy and right-hand man, was sworn in Tuesday night. He says he's been preparing for this position for the last decade. Edwards even told him so herself, but the circumstances for his promotion were unimaginable.
I did talk to her three times that day. She called when she was refueling in Alabama and told me that she'd seen me in a little while. And I did have a terrible feeling when we learned that there was a small plane that had crashed just outside of town.
The office remains entirely the same. Allman is still in his chief deputy office, and the other deputies work diligently at their desks. They don't know when they will open the door back up, but they know their department is in good hands.
Cinda improved the office to a professional level to where a lot of the counties, at least in the central part of the state, used us as a resource. Their go-to person was Jim.
A coroner's job is to deal with death. They are surrounded by it constantly. Allman said the key is to lean on each other and just keep moving forward. And that is what he plans to do. But that doesn't mean he wants to change how things are done. It's the least he can do for a partner and a mentor.
I didn't really think a lot about replacing her. I'll never be able to replace her. I mean, Cinda was Cinda. I'm not Cinda.
Allman still has some things to take care of in the transition process, but the nameplate on the front door has changed and he will soon get his new badge. But he doesn't know when, if ever, he will be able to move in to Cinda's old office. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Hanke, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
I'm sure it'll take a long time, if ever. Cole, thank you so much.
2 school resource officers have finished their training where they will be spending their first week on the job.
And also tonight.
It really touched our hearts.
One student is battling cancer, but in a unique way, she's not doing it alone.
All right, to recap up to day 31. Obviously came very early this morning, and then 11. That's the current temperature right now. And that number is going to change as we go throughout tonight. As we look at our Roofing Dog INET Flooring America camera, we've got blowing snow, we've got below zero wind chills, and the part of the forecast you may want to see when it warms back up next.